Well, hello, YouTube. This is an update for the fishing waters of the San Bernardino Mountains. It's been a little while, so we're going to do the winter update. It's only been a few days now into winter. Just had the winter solstice, Christmas, all that. So let's talk about what's going on in the mountain waters of the San Bernardino Mountains. And we may even talk about a few other spots, but beginning up here at Big Bear Lake, a lot of people are wondering, how the fishing has been. Most people do not fish Big Bear in the winter, and it's probably a big mistake because there really is a good bite up here in the winter. It can be amazing at times. It just depends on the water temperatures and all that, and but it's really good. However, it's been kind of a lesser year. I've noticed this time of year over here at Windy, not Windy Point, but Juniper Point over here. Typically, it'd be really good down here, and it's been pretty quiet the last 3 weeks. I usually fish this lake about 2 to 3 times a week, so I'm really in tune with it, and I've noticed a huge drop off from last year. Last year, much stronger fishing down there at Juniper Point this same time of year, and this year just completely fell off. So fishermen are still picking up fish from the observatory all the way to the Red House. This whole shoreline has been active. We go into detail on that on my Patreon, exactly what shores are still biting, and your best shots at that. So if you're interested in that, definitely stop in on Patreon and check it out. But Big Bear Lake has been a lot quieter. There are a few spots that are still biting, but it is definitely seeing a hit on the fish, and which is weird because I don't know if you guys caught it, but over here on the Facebook page for the Big Bear Municipal Water District, who controls the lake, they are in charge of the lake. They claim to have been planting tens of thousands of fish. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. And a lot of people in their comment section were on the same page as me. So right here you can see we stocked tens of thousands of pounds of rainbow trout this year. Um, I don't know if I believe that. I think they had some plants last spring, so January, February, March. They might have put a few fish in there, but it basically from summer on they haven't planted a thing. So it's been a while, and they're saying they planted all these fish, but I don't believe it. You can even see in their comment section right here. Uh, this guy, Nick Amoroso, posted up saying basically the same thing, that he did catch limits in the spring, but definitely not in an hour like Big Bear Water District was claiming people were doing. It says, I've never skunked in trolling this at Big Bear during the summer, but he said he had multiple 8-hour days trolling with no luck. So yeah, I agree with him. I mean, people that know the lake are still going to get some fish, but I really doubt that they have planted the fish that they say they are. They're probably just doing some damage control. Who knows what's going on there, why they would do that. But I agree. I saw a huge drop off. And are there more people fishing Big Bear Lake? Probably a few more. But honestly, I'm up there all the time and I don't see any more than I did last year. There were a few times in the early fall that I saw like a little spike in people up there, and even in the summer. But summer fishermen don't really have a whole lot of success up there anyway. So I haven't seen too much. It's been about the same, I think, as every year. So, but anyway, they got a little snowstorm up there right now, about a foot of snow on the ground, so that'll help the water a little bit, and should be, there's still a lot of fish in Big Bear. So, regardless of if they're planting or not, there's still a good bite there, and you should still have success. So get on up there in the winter and fish it. Like I said, if you're interested in details on, where you're not sure, you want more details, then go over to the Patreon in the link below, sign up, and you'll see all the details of, where to go every week. I update often, so definitely check into that, and we'll have those updates for you. So as far as Silverwood, let's get over to Silverwood Lake. So recently, Silverwood Lake planted. You probably saw that video on my channel. If you're obviously, you probably did since you're watching this one. They're expecting another one of those same plants this week. Probably again on Tuesday or Wednesday. They're going to dump them in here at the ramp. And I think they're going to be the same fish, those 10-inch fish or less. There might be a couple in there a little bigger, but most of them are going to be really small. I guess beggars can't be choosers right now. With the hatcheries are all down. There's a bunch of hatcheries down, as you guys probably heard. So they're taking fish from the Fillmore hatchery and some other places, and they're suffering right now. They are definitely suffering on their options for what fish they've got to put in. So we're just taking whatever they get. So yeah, they're going to plant again real soon, and they're trying to, keep it going. But those fish are just tiny, and the bass are just swooping on them. When we were there the other day on that last plant, we were fishing in this area here, and there were striper boiling all through here. So they're they're definitely getting chewed on, and there's probably not a whole lot of those from the last plant left. But people were still having fun with them, and I think you should too. I think there are other options closer to most people where there are some better fish that are private stocks. So, and Silverwood does get Mount Lassen and some other private plants. So maybe they'll spike up and get some bigger fish from there soon. But they were expecting another Department of Fish and Game plant here pretty soon. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. They just got snow today, and that could hurt the planting date. They may delay it a day or so because of ice. When it gets real icy on the roads here coming into their marina, these sections of the highway over here can get real icy. So that's probably why. But been a good striper bite there, though, that's for sure. So if you're into striper fishing, Silverwood Lake has been very productive this year. Moving on to Lake Gregory, let's move over there. Lake Gregory has just been a tough story this last year. If you've been paying attention, you know that they have been going through a concessionaire issue where they hired a company to do a bunch of work and plant fish. Well, they failed. They didn't come through. The only good thing that happened was they did dredge the lake, and so that helped a lot. And yeah, there are some holdover. People ask all the time on the channel. I get questions from my older videos from Gregory. There are holdovers in this lake that are way past this last plant that happened from the county about 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. There were still fish in this lake, but the numbers of the lake for trout are way down. It's nowhere where it used to be maybe 5 to 10 years ago. It's terrible. Um, did that last plant spike, the fishing action? Yeah, of course it did. There were people literally standing out there waiting for that truck to pull up and dump the fish in. So a lot of those fish got taken immediately after planting, and that's what they're for. It's a put and take fishery, but they did. A lot of them got taken, and as expected, the bite has died off a lot. There are still quite a few nice sized fish. I get reports all the time on my channel from people that still go there and say they're still catching some nice fish out of here. So give it a shot. I mean, it could be a nice break from going to all the typical places. They also got snow here, but it'll probably be gone by the weekend, and you should be able to get up there no problem. It is good fishing. Again, we cover these lakes on my Patreon. There's another one that I cover quite often, talk about some of the different spots and parking, even parking areas where you can park for free and access the lake. So they're still charging to fish at Lake Gregory, even though the fishing is terrible. You're still supposed to pay the fees, and we'll see how that goes. There used to be a lot more access over here, but since they dredged it, the baseball diamond's gone, all that. You can even see this is an updated satellite photo right here when that big dirt pile was here from the dredging. So this is all changed now, but it's still a good lake. I still like Lake Gregory. It's a great place to fish and spend time with the family. So don't be afraid to get out there. Uh, Up here at, we'll cover it because it's part of the system. Lake Hemet. Lake Hemet is kind of a special lake as of late because they've actually been getting some private plants from Mount Lassen, and they've been getting some lightning trout and some really nice fish, to be honest. And but it's a complicated lake because there's limited shoreline. Pretty much this whole south shore is off limits, and most of the west shore as well. It's really just this day use and campground area, and some of these resort points over here is pretty much it. There really aren't that many spots to fish. So again, over on Patreon, we cover where you can fish it and where I would go. But people are still picking up some fish out of this lake from the last plant. So pay attention to their page. And next time you see a plant, don't be afraid to get up there. I'm sure they got a decent amount of snow as well from this storm, which is good for this lake. It always needs the water. So, but hopefully they'll get some fish real soon. And I'm really happy with what Lake Hemet's been doing. I'm glad they're still planting fish up there. Whoever's doing that is running a great show. Hopefully they continue and get more fish, because I think Lake Hemet could become a really good fishery in the future if they continue. It's a nice little spot and a good break from the typical mountain areas, a lot less crowded. So Lake Hemet been doing a fine job. So don't be afraid to get up there and give it a shot. It's a little far for a lot of people, but if you live down in Hemet, Riverside, Moreno Valley, this isn't that far. Even Palm Springs area, you can shoot up here and check it out. It's not too bad at all. There's other stuff to do up there. They got some, you can go over to Julian and some other areas down south, and just explore that whole mountain area. It's really nice. Definitely worth the drive up there. So Lake Hemet, not a bad option. Fishing, definitely, I would prefer Lake Hemet over right now over Silverwood or Lake Gregory. So Big Bear being number one, Lake Hemet number two, then probably Silverwood, then Lake Gregory, towing the end of the line there. So, but that's it for the winter update. It looks like it's going to be a good winter for the most part. Big Bear is definitely going to be your best winter option for fishing. We'll check back. Maybe we'll do another update if Silverwood can get some more fish and something changes there. But if you're interested in more of like a weekly update, check me out on Patreon, and don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube for all the future fishing adventures and updates and stuff like that. So if you're out and about today, be safe. Happy New Year. If I don't see you guys, make sure you guys are getting out on the water, spend time with your families. That's the most important thing. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.